guys, today I'm doing my discussion video for The Heir by Kira Cass. First, I'm just gonna say, if you haven't read The Selection, The Elite, The One, or The Heir, don't watch this video. You will be spoiled like crazy. I'm not gonna talk about the plot, really, because it's like the fourth in a series. If you have not read any of the books in the Selection series, then you should leave. If you don't know what The Selection's about, I will link below my reviews / discussions for all three of the first books. I will also link my cupcake making / unboxing of The Heir video down below. That one was super fun to make and I really like how it turned out. So now we're just going to be discussing all the spoilers and all the scenes and everything in this book. So if you haven't read any of them, then leave. Bye. Okay, so this is gonna be super scatterbrained and it's gonna be all over the place, so just be prepared for craziness. I actually ended up giving this book 4.5 stars on Goodreads. I actually only marked 3 things in this book, but I also wrote notes while I was reading. We're just gonna go down the list of my notes and these 3 things, so it's gonna be completely random. Okay, first, we're just gonna talk about Edlin. Edlin is King Maxon and Queen America's daughter. She is one of 4 kids. She is one of twin set, her and her brother Aaron. She's 7 minutes older than him, so she is the heir to the throne. And their 2 younger brothers, Caden and Austin, I believe. It was actually really cool for me reading this because I'm actually like, okay, my older brother's 18 and I'm 17, so that was sort of like Edlin and Aaron, even though hopefully I'm not like Edlin. And then Caden is 14 and I have a brother who's 13, and then I'm pretty sure Austin is about 9-ish, 10-ish, and I have a brother who's 9, so I could relate to that aspect. Edlin, oh, she's so annoying. I'm just gonna be completely brutally honest right now. She is selfish, spoiled, immature, and she's just a brat. Like, this girl is ridiculous. I think there's definitely room for her character to grow and change and become a lot better, which is gonna be great character development. I hope it's handled well. It has been so far. Speaking of characters, let's talk about some of the new characters because I have a few favorites that I just adore. So let's gush about them for a minute. One of my favorite characters was Kyle. I think he's an awesome character. I think he's super nice. I love that he was in the selection. Like, oh my goodness, when she read his name, I was like, yes! Because I shipped her and the Woodwork son so much before I even knew that he was in the selection. I just shipped them so much because Marley and America's children getting together, that's just so beautiful, and I love them. Like, I honestly am rooting for Team Woodwork Streve. Yeah, they're my favorite. And next we have Henry. Oh my goodness, I love Henry so much. I saw that people were gushing over him and I was like, okay, who's Henry? Because I hadn't read it yet. And then when we met him, I was like, okay, I mean, he's okay. And then when we got to know him more, he is honestly one of the sweetest characters I've ever read about. He just adores Edlin, even though she's a brat. He's so sweet. He can't really speak English, but he's so cute. Like, he's just the sweetest little puppy dog. Like, I don't love him as much as Maxon. Like, I don't really love him in a romantic way, but he's just like, oh. And speaking of Henry, his translator, I sort of predicted that he would get a crush on Edlin, and he's not in the selection, so he's not allowed to. And so it sort of happened. There were some moments where I was like, oh, this is going in that direction, isn't it? I predicted that, but I don't ship them at all. So, I mean, yeah, but I really did like Eric. I think he's nice too. Okay, I also really liked Hale. I remember seeing his video on the Epic Reads YouTube channel. I've liked him ever since I saw his video. I think he's super nice, and I don't ship him with Edlin. Again, Kyle and Edlin, I love them together so much, and I don't want Henry's heart to break, but I feel like he's just gonna like die in the final book, and I know that sounds terrible, but I mean, I don't want his heart to break. So let's just kill him. No. Knowing authors, they'll probably kill him off in the last book and she and Kyle will get together. That's my prediction for the final book. And I also really liked her twin brother Aaron. They described him as looking almost exactly like Maxon when he was his age. I mean, I don't love him as much as Maxon. He's not Maxon, but yeah, I really liked his character as well. And okay, it wasn't as weird for me seeing Maxon and America as like 40-year-olds and parents. I don't know, I thought it would be super weird and awkward, but it wasn't that bad actually. I mean, I really liked seeing all of the characters, not all of them, but like from the other books, like Marley and Carter and Lucy and Aspen, and also May, all like grown up. Also, speaking of Lucy and Aspen, I love them together. I didn't like Aspen with America, so I just didn't like him, but now that he's with Lucy, I'm like, Yeah, Aspen. Basically, they have had a few miscarriages and a bunch of fallen out adoptions, and they can't have kids, and it's just like, why can't you let them? The struggle, and I want them to have little children, okay? I just felt so bad for them. And then also, speaking of Aspen, I really liked his relationship with Eadlyn. It wasn't awkward, him being around America and Maxon. Like, Maxon and him are like buds now, and I really liked how he was like, you know in Princess Diaries 2, how like Joe is so protective of Princess Mia? Like, that's what it felt like to me. I was like, aw, Aspen is your Joe. And he was like another father to her, and that's slightly awkward. I don't want to think like that, actually. Okay, so I feel like this book didn't really have a climax, and it was like, just give me some action. Like in the other books, we had rebel attacks, explosions, and all this awesome stuff every now and then, and it was a really amazing balance between the romance and the girliness and the action, and I really loved that about the other books, and there was none of that in this one. The kids of the people who were in the casts are now like rebelling and throwing tomatoes at the princess, so that's not good, but it's not like any action. So yeah, I wish that there had been more of a big thing that happened at the end. I mean, technically there was, but like earlier, you know, like a climax in a book or a movie, you know? There was none of that. There was nothing. I did really love when Eadlyn went on their like little date and they like cooked the meal, and it was just, I loved that. And then I loved when she went down to the kitchen like late at night and Henry was there baking, and they baked stuff together, and it was like so sweet. I just love Henry so much. Eadlyn is 18 in this book, and Americo is 17 in the others, and Americo is so much more mature than Eadlyn is at 18. America got married when she was 18, and this girl is just so bratty and so immature. You may argue that America is annoying and indecisive. She's not immature though. She grew up fast because she had to, because she grew up in a poor family where they had to work really hard to earn money to eat every day. She was indecisive, but that doesn't have anything to do with maturity. This girl was just like, I'm like, wait, you're seriously 18? Why are you acting like this? She's just so spoiled. Anyway, yeah, I just thought it was crazy the difference between the two, even though she's even older than America was. And speaking of America, a lot of people are really sad because they're like, I loved America's like feistiness and her kick and like her, you know, redhead craziness in the other books, and it wasn't really in this book. But okay, I'm thinking, it's been 20 years. She's had 4 kids, not to mention she was 17 in those books. The difference between being 17 and 40, there's a huge difference in, you know, temper and all this stuff. She's had 4 kids. She's had to learn to control her temper and be more kind and gentle. And so obviously she would be in this book. She's had 4 kids. I feel like that's realistic, that she wouldn't be as, you know, crazy and like fiery and all that stuff. I'm like, she's a mother and she's 40 years old. And she did have a little bit of that, you know. I loved when they were playing baseball and Eadlyn is playing and America sticks her head out the window. She's like, Eadlyn! And Eadlyn's like, oh no, she's gonna get mad at me. But then she's like, you get him, Eadlyn! And I was like, America, you're so cool. That was one of my favorite parts. That's why I tabbed it. It was just so good. I loved it. So a couple of things about like people from the past books. I was so sad when we found out that America's older sister Kenna died. That was really emotional. Plus, Kenna already had like, I think 2 kids, and they actually, I'm pretty sure they didn't mention Coda at all. Or Jared, they didn't mention either of them. Yeah, I loved seeing May. She was like awesome. She's like the best aunt you could ask for. I loved her and Eadlyn's relationship. But I really wish we'd seen Jared. Actually, it would make sense that America would never talk about Coda. I wouldn't be surprised if America's kids don't even know he exists because he's just a brat. So other than the fact that I'm really sad Kenna died, I also was wondering what happened to Mary. Because, you know, America had 3 maids in the other books, Mary, Anne, and Lucy. We hear in the one that Anne died during that final rebel attack, but I don't think they mentioned Lucy in this book. They may have, and I just forgot. Maybe they mentioned that she's still serving her as the queen, which would be like so sweet, but I'm not sure if that's actually in this book. I can't really remember. Okay, so we're just gonna go back to Eadlyn being a brat for a minute. Okay, so basically the first elimination, she let go of 11 boys. Like, 11? Wow. The way that she told them that they can go, she's like,
hey, what's your name again? And they tell her name, and she's like, yeah, you can go.
And she's like smiling throughout the whole thing. I'm like, girl, what's wrong with you? She's so rude. The way that she dismisses them, I'm like, seriously? Like, okay, let's talk about the ending. I didn't see it coming, and when I read that America had had a heart attack, I started sobbing. I was like, she can't die, she can't die. And part of me actually feels like Maxon is gonna die in the final book, which crushes my soul, but I just have this bad feeling that he's gonna die. And he's like so tired in this book, and America and Maxon, just the weight of the duty of being king and queen is just really making them age faster, and it's so sad. It's really depressing to read about. I just don't want to think about it, okay? America had better be fine. Alright, on a lighter note, Maxon cracked me up in this book. He had just so many funny lines. He's so hilarious. Him and Eadlin's relationship was really great, as well as America and Eadlin's. And I also really love the relationship and the bond between all the siblings. It was just so sweet. I'm pretty sure that was all I wanted to talk about. Please discuss this book with me in the comments. Like, I haven't really talked with anybody about it, and it's killing me. I want to discuss scenes and characters. Tell me who your favorite of the selected is down below. It's probably gonna be Henry or Kyle, let's be honest. That's like everyone's favorites. So who do you want her to end up with? What did you think of the book overall? What rating did you give it out of 5 stars? I just want to talk about this book with you guys because I loved it. So that's pretty much it in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed this whole series leading up to this book discussion. I had so much fun talking about these books with you guys, and continue to comment on those other videos. We can still discuss the selection, the elite, and the one. And yeah, so that's it. I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!
So open your eyes and see the way our horizon